Hey everyone, back in the garage for a few minutes today. I'm going to talk to you about these two Motion Pro tools. They're both to put on the clip style master link. This will help you press it on, and if you press it on too far, it'll help you relieve that tension. This is to help you get the clip. It's not a normal pair of pliers. It's got one a little bit longer than the other. You could actually probably make something like that yourself. And even these, I feel like I need to modify a little bit for the 520 chain, but fine for the 530. But the 520 is a little thinner. It's harder to get a good grip. Alright, so when you're doing your chain and you're pressing that link on and then you roll it forward, a lot of times you've put it on too tight. You've pressed everything too tight no matter what tool you're using. This allows you to press it on, and before you put it on the clip, you roll it through the system, and then you can tell if it's still got a kink in it, it's not rolling freely, you know it's too tight. So then you're janking it with a screwdriver, and sure enough you're gonna like splice into one of your O-rings or something. So this is just a better, easier way to get it done. So let's take a look at what I have set up here. So let's just pretend this is on your bike. It's a 520 setup. You're going to need a 10mm Allen and a 6mm Allen. And let's just assume I grease everything, blah blah blah. But I do have the O-rings on there. So it can be on your bike. You push it in there, make sure it's all greased up nice. Double check that you got the other two O-rings going on. Make sure they're greased up as well. Then take the other side of the master link, get it on there, start it out. Oh. Alright, now if you look on here, press off and press on. They dummy proof it for you. Famous last words. The dimples go in the back. Takes a little finagling just to make sure you're lined up. Get those nipples lined up correctly. Hold it in place. Snug it up. And then I just start doing it by hand. So even on the bike, I'm just pretending everything's on the bike right now. As it gets a little bit snugger and snugger, then you slide your 10mm in here. As you can start to torque it down, put a little more pressure. And going back and forth, back and forth. So there you can tell I had to change how I did it. Real simple. And you can feel it sliding onto the pins. Working it back and forth. You think you're about close? Loosen these up. Alright, so I can see that it's pressed on. Looks like it has enough lip. Now before I even put the master clip on, alright, I would roll this through a couple of cycles. And I'm checking to make sure that when it goes across, especially the front sprocket, that everything rolls smooth like the rest of the chain. Because a lot of times what happens is people press them on too tight, and you can tell when it goes across that front sprocket, it bumps a little bit, and that's letting you know it's too tight. So if it's too tight, you bring it back around, go to press off, real simple, flip it around, you're gonna line everything up. Alright, so you found that it's too tight and it kinks when it goes across the front sprocket. So what you're going to do is now you're going to roll the back wheel forward until you can get this chain off of the sprocket. Once you do that, then you're going to flip it over to where it says press off. And where it says press off, basically you're looking at the tool upside down. Slide it right through the center. So basically, you're putting this right where the sprocket would go. Then just start tightening these down, snug them up. Once you snug it up, it usually just takes like just a fraction of it. Go with small. Do a little bit at a time until it rolls across that front sprocket nice and easy. So I'd snug it up, and now what's going to happen is this is going to gently start pushing the back side of that chain out from the link. So that one link that you press on, it's going to push it off that just a little bit, because you got to make sure you have space. Remember, you need that space to get this clip on. Alright, once that's done, loosen it back up. Now again, if I had a third hand right now, because I'm simulating, I'd have this to support, make sure I'm not putting any tension on the chain that's kinking it side to side, or putting stress on that sprocket. Loosen everything up. There you go. Check it again. Alright, and then what I do is I roll it through until I can get it back on the sprocket. Everything rolls through, nothing's kinking up. It rolls over that front sprocket nice and smooth. Now you're ready for that clip. So let's pretend like the front sprocket's this direction. Take my clip is facing the direction. So the closed end of your clip faces forward. You line that up, and then self-explanatory, pretty much. You're going to use the front pin and the back side of the pliers to push it forward. And it's going to take a little bit. It's going to, because there's not much to work with, especially on a 520. And then from there, let me see if I can get it on there. There we go. This is actually a clip that I messed up earlier and bent it. So you gotta watch what you're doing. Alright, I need two hands. There we go. It's starting to go on just like that. So that old school using pliers and a screwdriver. Some people I've even seen like do some backyard mechanic stuff, and they'll even take a hammer and a screwdriver and push it forward. You're just asking for trouble. So just pushing it forward like that, and then again you roll it all the way through. Double check, make sure there's no kinks. Everything's closed up, looking good. Alright guys, I hope that helps you with your next chain adjustment. Check out my other chain tools as well, the other Motion Pro, where it's a chain breaker. I talk about where in the old days you had to like grind out the pins to get, especially if you want to go with a solid chain. Motion Pro's tool, that they're just doing a good job. All of us motorcycle guys can really appreciate the Motion Pro tools. Go check them out. I'm not sponsored by them, but man, did they save me many a times. Alright, I'll see you next time in the garage.